Hey, how are you? Kumusta po kayo? And thanks for tuning in to another edition of Paul Presents Art. So I be Paul and I be your guide today. And today we're just outside the gallery called the Audain Gallery here at Simon Fraser University downtown campus in Vancouver, which is of course built on the ancestral territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh nations. And we're going to go and have a look at an installation and some paintings by Turkish-Canadian artist Elif Saydam. So what are we going to see? We're going to see an installation that looks like a labyrinth. We're going to see some intimate small paintings and some paintings that are made on doors retrieved from the bathroom. Yes, the bathroom. So I hope you can join me. I hope you enjoy the tour and let's begin. Okay, so as is customary in my video, we're going to go inside the gallery and we're going to do a bit of a pan of the show. And then I'll tell you about the artist Elif Saydam. But before that, we're just going to go and concentrate on this panel over here. But a lot of this information is going to be translated into the description area of this video, so don't worry about that. As I promised, there is going to be a labyrinth. There's going to be some paintings, some intimate paintings on the wall, and some paintings on bathroom doors, which we're going to go and have a look at a bit later, but that's where they are. And I'll tell you about the artist. Through an expanded painting practice, Turkish-Canadian artist Elif Saydam uses the language of ornamentation and decoration to rearrange systems of valuation. Saydam lives and works in Berlin. Saydam's multidimensional painting practice examines the ideological forces that scaffold and shape aesthetic taste. Drawing on histories of ornamentation outside the European canon, Saydam challenges gendered, classicist, and Orientalist assumptions about decoration, which are rife with connotations of frivolity, femininity, and excess. To entangle traditional miniature painting techniques with queer iconography, camp, and references to contemporary popular culture. So what we'll do next is we're going to go through each and every piece in the show, and then after that I'm going to share with you a few comments, perhaps some thoughts about the show. So we're just approaching the first piece. And the first piece, which is right in front of us, is called The Line for Layla is Long, 2024. Japanese tinted silver leaf, 22 karat, 23 karat gold leaf, oil and cold wax medium on found toilet stall doors, 1920s. Just gonna go and have a look at the lusciousness of this. There's a lot of lush factors to these works, and I wanted to give you a really good view of them. The next piece is called Mejnun Finds Relief 2024, Japanese tinted silver leaf, 22 karat, 23 karat gold leaf, oil and cold wax medium on found toilet stall doors. So the doors are from 1920s, like Art Deco, and they were retrieved from Manhattan. And the third piece over here is called Unhinged, 2024, 21 karat, 22 karat, 23 karat gold leaf with oil and cold wax medium on linen. So this is a real painting. It's a trompe l'oeil that tends to sort of mimic the toilet doors that you saw earlier. And then we're gonna go to another wall. And this is a suite of intimate paintings. They're very small paintings. They're about 11 by 8.5 inches, so the size of like a standard size letter size paper. This piece is called Nausea 1, 2024. It's oil on linen. This piece is called Nausea 2, 2024. It is also oil on linen. This third piece is called Nouveau Riche, 2024. Modeling paste, plastic spoon, stickers, 23 karat gold leaf, oil on linen. Just wanted to sort of have a look at it a little bit closer. I wanted you to see the spoon. And then we're going to go to the next piece. This piece is called Goodbye to Berlin After Isherwood, 2024. Laminated inkjet print edition, florist paper, ribbon, and magnets. Slightly larger than the other pieces that I showed you. And this piece right in front of you is Myopia 1, 2024, oil on linen. Now that is not a real spoon, that is actually a painted spoon. And then when we go to the next piece, which is, this is called Old Money, 2024, modeling paste, plastic spoon, 23 karat gold leaf, and oil on linen. And these are also 8.5 by 11, the size of a standard letter sized paper here in North America. And beside it is another piece called Myopia 2, 2024, oil on linen. And that is a trompe l'oeil of a spoon. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about the spoon a little bit later. And we're going to go visit the last piece in the show, which is in the front of the gallery. And this last piece in the gallery is an array of flower arrangements at the front of the gallery, facing the street, called My Condolences, My Congratulations, 2024, made of fresh flowers, silk flowers, metal and wood armatures, fabric, paper, printed banners with excerpts from Nizami Ganjavi's Haft Bekar, circa 1197. So the dimensions of these are a little bit variable because it really all depends on the size of the space and the size of the flower arrangements. The flower arrangements are actually quite beautiful. They are also a mixture of fresh and artificial flowers. Some of them are silk, and they have this sort of like mourning as well as congratulatory tone to them. And we're just gonna go pass by these pieces and just gonna stay over here, and I'm gonna share my thoughts with you. So I want to go back inside the gallery and have a closer look at those doors that we encountered earlier. I'm gonna go and have a look at them. And there's a few more doors that are there. These two are the original doors. And two of the doors are real doors, like I said, retrieved from some building or something in Manhattan around 1920s. So they're like Art Deco style doors in terms of the architecture, but the paintings on them were executed by Elif. And the third work in this trifecta is that painting on linen, or mimics the other two doors. So this one, because what happened is that the artist was only able to get 2 doors, so the artist wanted to have 3 doors, and I'll tell you why there are 3 doors that the artist wanted. I was fortunate enough, back a couple of weeks ago, I guess, to hear the curator talk about the work. For the life of me, I forgot what pronouns the artist uses, but I'll try to be sensitive to that. As the artist is Turkish-Canadian, currently based in Berlin though, there's a few terms or even aesthetic considerations that are part of that dialogue of being Turkish, but also broadly touching upon other topics such as LGBTQ, queer ideas, mourning and celebration, the labyrinth, and even the role of beauty in art right now. The doors, for example, it was shared by the curator that the artist was hoping to find authentic doors from, a gay establishment, I think, maybe a gay club, or bathhouse maybe, that conjures up images of sexual escapades, bathroom stalls, glory holes, or maybe you don't know. I'm not going to tell you, I'm not going to explain those terms. You can Google them if you want. Yeah, go on the wild side. And also the doors are both like entrances or something inviting, and also something that keeps things out. The reason that there's 3 doors is because the artist wanted to sort of like conjure up this sense of that game show called Let's Make a Deal. So contestants are confronted with 3 doors. They don't know what's behind each door. So the contestant is supposed to sort of choose a door, and one of the doors contains a really grand prize worth like tens of thousands of dollars. And the other two doors are kind of like booby consolation prizes. I don't know, maybe you'll win a toaster oven or something like that. So you kind of like choose which door, and you basically have to sort of like have that anticipation that perhaps you're going to win the big sort of like prize, and sometimes you're let down, right? So that's part of this entire show. I'll tell you a little bit more about this concept of cruel optimism. And these doors, as they work in the gallery, I think they work really well with a maze. Just going to go into the labyrinth right now. It was created in the middle of the gallery. It's translucent, penetrable, soft architecture. It kind of like is what it is suggesting to me, you know, because we tend to think of architecture as being hard, permanent, like buildings of, say, glass, steel, concrete. But this maze is not meant to confuse or confound, but perhaps, in a sense, penetrate it. It's architecture that is somewhat sexualized, I would say, and there's like a queering of space, making it fluid, transparent, but also obscured somewhat by the patterns on these transparencies. Let's just focus on some of the patterns. Some of the patterns are kind of like from history books or pattern books. So it's sort of like a queering of the space, making it fluid, transparent, but also obscured. Floral patterns mostly, with some classical architectural flourishes. Embellishments, I guess. So it becomes a beautiful experience just to like walk around. There's a lot of faux, like for example, that's a faux door handle, for example, right? There's a lot of that happening in this entire installation. And it's kind of like easy from this point of view to sort of like get confused a little bit. It's a duality of experiences. When I read the the booklet, there was mention of Lauren Berlant's book. Not sure what the title is, but it discusses this term that I mentioned earlier called cruel optimism, which is, and I quote from the booklet, the societal condition that systematically ensures our desires are actually obstruct or our ability to thrive. And I tend to think of that sense of duality or dialectic. And the same goes for those flowers in the front. When I first saw them, let's just go to the flowers in the front, just sort of give you a bit of a reminder. So when I first saw them, it reminded me of funeral flowers. You know, when someone, maybe family, pass away, and flowers, it's like the scent of death. But I also find these flowers, especially in Chinese culture, when, for example, like a new store opens, they have flowers to inaugurate the place. Big flower arrangements like these in the front window. Maybe a sign of good luck. So there's this sense of celebration or mourning with a labyrinth. And there's also suggesting something foreboding, but also exciting. And I also want to talk about how beautiful and luxurious the paintings are. I mean, it's lavished with gold. Not just the big paintings on the toilet doors, but also these paintings, for example, we're just going to go and focus in on one of the gold pieces right over here, for example. Like, it's lavished with gold. I had to use the word lavish. Seems like it's a really beautiful word to use in this context, especially in Vancouver, where beauty is suspect and concept is everything. So I recently saw a video about how millennials, especially artists, concentrated on a mood, creating a mood, instead of developing content or concepts for their work. I mean, I get it, concepts are important. But the video also mentions the importance of an authentic experience, an aesthetic experience. If you don't have access to the written word, like the press release, and you're presented with art, you expect as a visitor to the gallery, I expect anyways, to have an authentic experience, an aesthetic experience. And here in this gallery, I think I am getting an aesthetic experience. I can also refer to the contained extravagance, because the paintings are lush, with gold, and also very painterly. Like Persian miniatures. We're just going to go in here and have a look. It's like Persian miniatures, which I think, don't quote me, extends throughout the Middle East in some form. I don't know. And written within the paintings are these everyday objects that suggest living, just living life. I asked the curator what the spoons are, and they're from yogurt containers. I think that's what she said. I'm trying to recall, but the talk was like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, and I'm glad I went. So that pretty much is all I can remember about the show. And I'm happy to share these thoughts with you. And I think that's a good place to end things. So I hope you enjoyed that tour of Elif Saydam's work here at the Audain Gallery, Simon Fraser University downtown campus. And if you did enjoy it, you can like this video. You can subscribe to the channel for free. And you can also share it on your social media channels. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Thank you so much for joining me. You have a great day. I hope art continues to inform your life. And perhaps I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.